Hey City Kids, it is Monday night, which means bedtime stories. I do apologize that there was nothing uploaded last Thursday night as I had planned. The internet has been less than cooperative at our house, and three very nice gentlemen have now come 3 consecutive days in a row, and we think that we finally have it fixed. So on with the show. So tonight we are going to read Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. So if you know, I have a son named Alexander. We call him Alex. And some people have said, did you name him because of this book? And the answer is no. It does fit his personality sometimes, but no, Alexander was my maiden name, so that's why he is Alex. And some little fun facts. This book, take a guess when this book was written. 1972. So that was 6 years before I was even born, but I feel like it became very popular again in the last 20 years, and Disney has actually created a movie about it. I looked it up. It'll be available on Disney Plus starting in November, or you can rent it from iTunes for $2.99. So there you go, iTunes. I've given you a pitch. Written by Judith Viorst and illustrated by Ray Cruz, first written in 1972. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his cereal box. But in my breakfast box, all I found was cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I am going to be car sick. No one answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. And at singing time, she said, I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out the number 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore, and he said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. Just so you know, a tack is a thumbtack. It's what you put in bulletin boards. I hope the next time that you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls right off the cone and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm gonna be in Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said that I was a crybaby. I'm not a crybaby. While I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers, and Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes, and Nick chose red ones with white stripes, and I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, "We're all sold out. I'm so sorry. They made me buy plain old white shoes, but they can't make me wear them." When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was so careful except for my elbow. He also said, "Don't fool around with this phone." But I think I called Australia. My dad said, "Please don't pick him up anymore." It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner. Lima beans. I hate lima beans. And there was kissing on TV. I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow that he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, and my mom says that some days are just like that. Even in Australia. I sure do hope that your Monday has not been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And if it was, just remember, bad days are even in existence in Australia, and tomorrow will be better.